Hi everyone, welcome to Group 3 Lessons Reporting. And by the way, I am Giselle Villas from BSF 1B. And the lesson we're gonna tackle today is all about intercultural communication. But before that, I will introduce to you first who are the reporters and their specific topics. For the lesson 1, we have globalization and communication. How globalization worked, to be reported by myself. How did globalization happen, to be reported by Luigi Sino and Vivian Lupiba. And for the lesson 2, local and global communication in multifunctional society, to be reported by Neil Gansinya, Rufa Rukat, Mary Rose Cacho, Rosemary Amoncio, Antoinette Dagupan, and Mark Lloyd Pahe. Without further ado, let's get started. What is globalization? So globalization or global, these are the terms that we often encounter today, and all countries are engaged in globalization. And because of this, we need to understand what it is all about, and more importantly, how it affects to our communication. So globalization has brought many benefits to many people, but not to everyone. How globalization works? So in simple terms, globalization is the process by which people and goods move easily across borders. So that means that dili lang isa ka country or sa imong country na akay business, kundi entire world na ana kay branch sa imong business. So that's what we call globalization. So, are you familiar with this picture, Starbucks Coffee Chain Company? So, Starbucks Coffee Chain Company is a well-known coffee chain. So, makikita natin siya sa like TV or sa mga movies, no? And Starbucks Coffee was built in the city of Seattle in 1971. So, dugay na kaayo ni siya nga na buong nga business. Then, about 15,000 stores, naa siya 50 countries. And then, like sa Australia, Cambodia, sa Chile, Dubai, and many more. Then, Starbucks is anywhere, of course. And that's what we called, it is a truly globalized company talaga, no? Dahil, imagine, for 50 countries. And then, no, in 1971, so 2022, of course, they are many suppliers and mga employees po, mga employers. So, and of course, sa mga addict sa coffee. So, daghan kaayo. So, this was a good thing for the tag-iya sa business o sa mga nagtrabaho po. And then, mag-release sila og 247 million kilograms of unroasted coffee out of 29 countries. Imagine dako jud ang ilang profit, no? Kay millions of unroasted coffee mag-release sila out of 29 countries. And of course, thousands of people are benefited. So it provides jobs and income and for all over the world, no? And then but suddenly the problem came up. So adunay sa 2012, adunay headlines nga nag-create ang Reuters nga ang Starbucks coffee wala doon nagbayad of tax. And then they asked themselves, nga naman nga wala sila kabayad nga nag-earn man sila og millions of profit. So a big question mark, no? And then dili jud malikayan nga maabot jud ang sa ka-problems sa ka-business. So this is one of the example of how globalization works, so ang Starbucks coffee chain. So let's hear the continuation of this lesson to Luigi Sino and Vivian Lupiba.
Good day everyone, my name is Rofa Mirokat from BSF 1B. My assigned topic is all about why is cultural diversity a good thing. Cultural diversity is important because our country, workplace, and school is increasingly consist of various cultural, racial, and ethnic groups. Cultural diversity means pagkakaiba-iba ng kultura. Kay pareha sa Pilipinas, di ba? Sa Pilipinas, lahi-lahi taog kinaiya, lahi-lahi panginabuhi, lahi-lahi na grupo sa tao, like Cebuano, Tagalog, Kamayo, ug uban pa. Learning about others' cultures help us understand different perspectives within the world in which we live. Pag-learn daw sa lain culture is makatabang sa ato pare sa anang sampol ana nang nag-learn ka about sa mga inistorya sa Kamayo. If makaadto ka pare sa nang adto og hinatuan, lingig, if naay mangutana sa imo na Kamayo, dili ka maglisod og tubag unsa iyang gipangutana kay kanaman imong naka-learn man ka about sa ilang language kaya dali ra sa imuha na sabton or matubag iyang pangutana. This is the end of my report. Thank you.
Before I start my report, let me introduce myself. I am Bibian Silupiba from BSF 1. My report is ano ang masama or what's bad about it. While some areas have flourished, others have floundered as jobs and commerce move elsewhere. Still, companies in the UK, for example, once thrived pag umunlad ang UK company. Makapagbibigay sila ng trabaho sa maraming 100,000 tao sa buong sa bansa. But when China began producing cheaper steel, kung ang China raw ay mag-produce ng mas mura pa kaysa UK steel plants, ang tendency is the steel plants in UK may be closed down and thousands of jobs were lost. Will be closed down, thousands of jobs were lost. Yung masama nito, maraming mawawala ng trabaho. Every step forwards in technology brings with it new dangers. Gaya na ngayon, na modern technology na, maraming computer, ang ating gaya na ngayon, nag-aaral tayo through online because of the global pandemic. But marami ring mga computers have vastly improve our lives, mapadali ang ating mga ating buhay it can facilitate as per our work. But cyber criminals steal millions of pounds a year. Marami ring lumalabas na mga scammers at maraming sumasali sa sa mga cyber crime, cyber sex crime ng mga teenagers pa dahil sa poverty. Global wealth has skyrocketed but so has global warming. Hindi lang sa ating bansa ang problema ng global warming dahil sa mga new technologies. Ang nangyari kasi dahil sa global technology, dahil sa new technology natin, gaya ng meron ng mga motorcycle, yung mga aso kasi ng nagkakaroon niya ng air pollution at sa may ibang ang global warming hindi lang sa atin, hindi lang dito sa ating bansa but in the global global warming, that's the problem of whole world. While many have been lifted out of poverty, not everybody has benefited. Many argue that globalization operates mostly in the interest of the richest countries, with most of the world's collective profits flowing back to them and into the pockets who already own the most. Dahil kung rich ka kasi, mas lalo kang magiging rich. That's the reality of the global. Kasi may kapital ka, hindi na kailangan na mangutang ka pa ng pera para ikapital mo ng negosyo. At talagang yung mga rich, mas bumabalik pa sa kanila na ng triple pag may investment sila na kumiklik. Although globalization is helping to create more wealth in developing countries, dahil sa pagtutulong-tulungan ng mga yung tinatawag natin na di ba ang merong nung unang first semester may election na lesson na yung about sa international governance. Meron kasing international governance kung saan nagtutulong-tulong para lahat tayo ay makabangon. Lahat ng bansa ay makabangon. Create more wealth in developing countries. It is not helping to close the gap between the world's poorest and richest nations. Leading charity Oxfam says that when corporations such as Starbucks can legally avoid being taxed, the global inequality crisis worsens. Kasi pag hindi nakapagkaya ng Starbucks, hindi sila nakapagbayad ng tax. Ang posibleng mangyayari kasi, mas lalo pang magkakaroon ng crisis dahil ang ating tax kasi ay napupunta yan sa mga facilities, mga roadways o ano pang mga magagandang plano ng gobyerno. At saka posibleng hindi sila pahintulutan na magbukas at posibleng mag-close ang kanilang business. At marami ring taong mawawalan ng trabaho. Basically done wisely, in the words of the International Monetary Fund, globalization could lead to unparalleled peace and prosperity, done poorly to disaster. Dahil ito kasing International Monetary Fund or IMF, ito ang isang organisasyon na may 190 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, reduce poverty around the world. Dahil ito kasing IMF na nagpapautang ito sa country na hindi gaya ni President Rodrigo Duterte. Umuutang siya ng kapital para sa vaccine, para mabigyan ang mga mamamayan tayo ng vaccine para sa prediction natin sa global pandemic ng COVID-19. Ang nangyayari ay umuutang siya. Pero hindi basta-basta nagpapautang ang IMF dahil may tinitingnan sila na yung tinatawag na GDP or Gross Domestic Product. Tinitingnan nila kung ang produkto ba natin ay meron ba tayong kakayahan na makapagbayad at may tagal kung unsa ang kasabutan sa payment. At ito lang. Maraming salamat.
Hi, my name is Neil Igansenya from BSF 1B. This is my report about local and global communication in multicultural setting. According to science, each person is genetically unique. Except for identical twins, each person has unique genetic composition. This uniqueness becomes even more heightened because of individual experience. Humans are formed by other genetics, family background, religious affiliations, educational attainment, socio-cultural forces, economic conditions, emotional states, and other factors shape human identities. Because of this, no two people can ever be exactly the same. What is culture? Our culture is what we shape us. It shapes our behavior and our identity. Culture is our way of living. It refers to shared language, belief, values, norms, behaviors, and materials, objects that are passed down from one generation to the next. What does culturally diverse mean? The term culturally diverse is often used interchangeably with the concept of multiculturalism. Sociologist Dr. Caleb Rosado, who specializes in diversity and multiculturalism, describes seven important actions in the definition of multiculturalism. Number one, recognition of the abundant diversity of cultures, respect for the difference, acknowledging the validity of different cultural expression and contributions, valuing what other culture offer, encouraging the contribution of diverse groups, empowering people to strengthen themselves and others to achieve their maximum potential by being critical of own bias and celebrating rather than just tolerating difference in other bring about unity through diversity. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone. My name is Mark Lloyd Ispahe from BSF 1B and this is my report. What is low context culture? A low context culture relies on explicit communication. Primary purpose of this communication is the exchange of information, facts, and opinions. So, a low context communication is a speaker-oriented style where speakers do not hesitate to offer their opinions and expertise. Interpersonal contact between people in general and between those directly involved in communication is usually superficial. The list below shows the kind of behavior that is generally found in low context cultures within 5 categories. First is association. Relationships begin and end quickly. Productivity depends on procedures and paying attention to the goal. Members of low context cultures have many relationships that last for a short amount of time or exist for a specific reason. Following procedures and keeping sight of the goal are important in accomplishing a transaction. Second is interaction. Non-verbal elements are not significant. Verbal messages are explicit, and communication is seen as a way of exchanging information, ideas, and opinions. Culture that communicates information in a direct manner that relies mainly on words. Low context cultures do not rely on contextual elements. Speaker's tone or voice or body language to communicate information. Territoriality. Space is compartmentalized. Low context cultures are individualistic, so privacy and having personal space is valued. Temporality. Events and tasks are scheduled and to be done at particular times. Time is a commodity to be spent or saved. One's time is one's own. And the last is learning. One source of information is used. Thinking proceeds from specific to general. Speed is valued. How efficiently something is learned is important. That's all. Thank you for listening.